Now, this here is part two of channeling Mark Twain. I'm acquainted with the works of Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, and I believe we can reach the moon and perhaps beyond. Most people are afraid of what they don't understand. Well, ignorance is the path to stupidity. You don't know what you don't know because you're too dumb to seek knowledge. The uneducated class prefers to live in the darkness of the blind because they will not see, having lost the ability to see what their eyes and ears tell them. Now, individually, the most important thing to do is work on your own spiritual development, which means transcending religious doctrine and digging into the spirit of the highest manifestation of consciousness. You still should vote your conscience to ensure democratic efforts to solve societal concerns and problems, but it's done for collective progress to unfold. It is unfortunate that some wish to restore the past, which is impossible, or they want to wield total authority and power over others, stealing from the poor and giving it to the rich. You could call them the reverse Robin Hoods, and they have declared war on the middle and working class people of this nation. This is the next civil war and the new revolution that has not been televised because it is suppressed by wealthy corporations without heart or soul run by lizard people. You weren't shown the hundreds of protests in the streets against the billionaires that run the world. Diabolical, devious, delusional, disgusting Donnie has overstepped his place in the pecking order, wanting to be Pope, Emperor, and God and take over sovereign nations, which is unseemly for the president of the most powerful nation on the planet. His sickness is greed, always wanting more than he's earned, and by that I mean grifted, stole, scammed, borrowed, and defaulted. Most assuredly, you are aware of this and are working toward his political end. But don't bother trying to convince his supporters, as they are too far gone, and your efforts at transformation are best turned inward, where you can mark and make your own progress, where you can mark your own progress through time and space. I know that was a little fuck up. And don't be distracted by false cultural issues, as it's no longer about ideology, because now it's all about economics. The warring factions are clearly separated by a wealth gap that's incredibly wide, and billionaires want to become trillionaires, not realizing that by crashing the global economy, their money becomes worthless. Their power will be short lived because of their short sightedness, which in turn will turn our beautiful planet into a desolate wasteland. The greed and inhumanity of one man shouldn't be enough to bring down an entire civilization the way a cataclysmic global disaster might. It should be observed that his coming was foretold in many forms of media throughout the years. I believe in telling the truth, but a good story is a better one with a little lie. Women and Jews should not be marginalized, as both groups are better at dealing with money than most men. I support women's suffrage and women in general. If a woman has no support, I'll be happy to lend a hand or two to uplift her in every way I can, in which I am able. I believe it's important to improve oneself in an effort to live a meaningful life. To be great, truly great, you have to be the kind of person who makes the others around you great. Knowledge becomes wisdom only after it has been put to good use. There was a saying I had years ago, knowledge is power, but power is the power. No, but wisdom is the power of using that knowledge. Uh, Something like that. It's been a long time. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is having the power to use. Wisdom is using the power to know things. You know what I'm talking about. Corruption. As a subject, huh? Corruption keeps the people from having a fair shot at success. Plutocrats are like an insatiable wild beast that can't stop killing even after victory. When I was a young man, I had the joy of discovery. Now, as I am old, I do the necessary task of explaining why things are so damn fucked up. Halley's Comet came around just before I was born, and its next appearance took me home 75 years later. But sure enough, I'll be back. That is, if this world is still habitable by humans. Do not complain about growing old. It is a privilege denied to many. My brother used to say that the travel we experienced early had something to do with my roving nature. And here I thought it was because I was a Sagittarius. Many who have described my nature use terminology that invariably fits the nature of a Sagittarius. A humorist fits that character along with storyteller, as well as offering opinions and observations of the human experience and its stunning ability to make complete fools and asses of themselves. Oppressive men have degraded and destroyed the lives of women and black folk with such hatred and intolerance, yet they call themselves Christians without accepting the teachings of their master. Hypocrites are an egregiously evil type of human. It's quite challenging to dialogue with intellectual inferiors. Their profound ignorance or stupidity inhabits informed intercourse, verbally, of course. Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Knowledge becomes wisdom only after it has been put to good use. There's that. Those who do not read have no advantage over those who cannot read. The nation is divided, half patriots, half traitors, and no man can tell which from which. Never have a battle of wits with an unarmed person. I have spoken often about these topics as the appetite for notice and notoriety abides within all my life. And now we have a leader who exists in a mental construct devoid of reality, compassion, or awareness, where every word is the opposite of the obvious truth. A man's character may be learned from the adjectives which he habitually uses in conversation. There are basically two types of people: people who accomplish things and people who claim to have accomplished things. The first group is less crowded. It is better to be silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. And my doctor prescribed me some newfangled hearing aids so I could hear what people are saying, but most people are such idiots and fools that I'd rather not. If Christ was here now, there is one thing he would not be: a Christian. I'll finish with a final quote. Life is short. Break the rules. Forgive quickly. Kiss slowly. Love truly. Laugh uncontrollably and never regret anything that makes you smile. That's it for this episode. Mark Twain being channeled by yours truly.